Hello everyone, welcome to my bold and a beautiful news channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Before we dive into today's content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and show some love by giving this video a thumbs up. The bold and the beautiful spoilers uncover that Steffy Forrester might drive Trust Logan past the brink, assuming she boycotts one more sentiment. E&B fans will review that Steffy didn't need Trust and Thomas Forrester together, so she persuaded Thomas to leave town with Douglas Forrester. That maddened expectations since she lost the man she cherished alongside the child they were raising, since they're both as far as possible in France. Presently, Thomas is content with Paris Buckingham, and Douglas is anticipating having her as a stepmom. Obviously, Trust ended up fantasizing about John Finn Finnegan and at last established a tanked kiss on him. From that point forward, Steffy has been setting some hard boundaries with Trust with regards to laying out limits and staying away. Steffy's emphasis is on safeguarding her marriage, so you'd think she'd be cheerful in the event that Trust began putting all her consideration on a renewed person. Tragically, it may not figure out that way, since it seems to be Carter Walton is the following person not too far off. Steffy looks at Carter as a dear companion of hers and somebody she's continuously going to think often about. Carter is really more like family to the Forresters, so Steffy might deal with him like somebody she wants to safeguard. All things considered, Steffy realizes Carter has previously persevered extremely numerous troublesome separations. Since Steffy thinks Trust is very much like Brooke Logan, she might expect Trust is about to utilize Carter and depart a path of deplorability. How might Trust respond, assuming Steffy restricts her from dating Carter next? Steffy could observe her a few flying flashes and verify that she would do well to stop this from the beginning. It's not difficult to envision Steffy growing her final offer and proposing that to keep her line. Then she ought to try not to cross any lines with Carter, all things considered. That is the sort of thing that could push desire to her limit and influence her quarrel with Steffy to explode more than ever. On the off chance that Steffy takes action to safeguard her buddy and Forrester's CEO, it could blow up and leave Trust focused on vengeance. On the other hand, perhaps Trust could essentially conclude she's finished taking requests and let things work out naturally with regards to expect what's in store. On the off chance that Carter can assist with Trusting bounce back her line like he designs, it might become effective enough that she doesn't need to stress over every one of the dangers in any case. Steffy might have no real option except to withdraw in the event that expect what's to come turns into a hit once more. Also, Steffy could really begin to see that expectation and Carter could be great for one another. Regardless, our expectations recommend Steffy's underlying response to Trust and Carter's sentiment won't be a positive one. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Trust and Steffy might be preparing for another wild face-off thus, so we'll welcome updates on any fight-related news to come. The bold and the beautiful spoilers recap for Friday, September 13, uncovers that Brooke Logan pushed Trust Logan to simply put John Finn Finnegan completely crazy. Trust ended up yelling about how bossy and malignant Steffy Forrester could be. After Trust said she was beginning to contact her limit, she was brought across the lobby on Steffy's requests. In the president office, Steffy, Edge Forrester, and Carter Walton went over the wretched early projections for expectation for what's in store. In spite of the fact that Finn and Taylor Hayes proposed to leave, Steffy encouraged them to remain for Trust's awful information. When Brooke joined expectation for the gathering, Carter raised the early projection numbers since the line was all the while failing to meet expectations. In light of all the non-verbal communication and negative remarks, Trust acknowledged she wasn't triumphing, ultimately the last opportunity she needed to make something happen. It passed on Trust pushing Steffy and the others to let her know if they were cutting expect what's in store. At Il Giardino, Liam Spencer tested Will Spencer about the chance of Bill Spencer and Katie Logan rejoining. Will was certainly not a small child who required his folks back together. However, he upheld the thought if Bill would treat Katie right this time and satisfied her. At Bill's home, he got refreshes on Katie's previous experience with Poppy Nozawa, Romy Park, which offered Katie a chance to apologize to her. Bill praised Katie excitedly and conceded she was the one individual who grasped the genuine him. After Bill pushed for a legitimate response on Friday's B&B episode, he inquired as to whether Katie was blissful. Bill recollected when he used to come to Katie and consistently understood what she was feeling. Katie conceded she was to be sure blissful, particularly now that Will was home. Bill implied about the potential outcomes ahead with them getting to know each other since they were as yet a lovely little family. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Katie Bill actually get an opportunity at Adoration, so we'll pass along forecasts on how they could expand on their restored Flash. Hope wound up ranting about how bossy and vindictive Steffy Forrester could be. After Hope said she was starting to reach her breaking point, she was summoned across the hall on Steffy's orders. In the CEO office, Steffy, Rich Forrester, and Carter Walton went over the abysmal early projections for Hope for the future. Although Finn and Taylor Hayes offered to leave, Steffy urged them to stay for Hope's bad news. Once Brooke joined Hope for the meeting, Carter brought up the early projection numbers since the line was still underperforming. Based on all the body language and pessimistic comments, Hope realized she wasn't getting the last chance she wanted to turn things around. It left Hope pushing Steffy and the others to tell her if they were cutting Hope for the future. At El Giardino, Liam Spencer quizzed Will Spencer about the possibility of Bill Spencer and Katie Logan reuniting. Will wasn't a little kid who needed his parents back together, but he supported the idea if Bill could treat Katie right this time and make her happy. At Bill's house, he got updates on Katie's earlier encounter with Poppy Nozawa, Romy Park, which gave Katie an opportunity to apologize to her. Bill sang Katie's praises and admitted she was the one person who understood the real him. After Bill pushed for an honest answer on Friday's B&B episode, he asked if Katie was happy. Bill thought back to when he used to come to Katie and always knew what she was feeling. Katie admitted she was indeed happy, especially now that Will was home. Bill hinted about the possibilities ahead with them spending time together since they were still a beautiful little family. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Katie and Bill still have a chance at love, so we'll pass along predictions on how they might build on their renewed spark. Truss ended up yelling about how bossy and malignant Steffy Forrester could be. Truss said she was beginning to contact her limit. She was brought across the lobby on Steffy's requests. In the president's office, Steffy, Rich Forrester, and Carter Walton went over the wretched early projections for expectation for what's in store. In spite of the fact that Finn and Taylor Hayes proposed to leave, Steffy encouraged them to remain for Truss's awful information. When Brooke joined expectation for the gathering, Carter raised the early projection numbers since the line was all the while failing to meet expectations. In light of all the nonverbal communication and negative remarks, Truss acknowledged she wasn't triumphing. Ultimately, the last opportunity she needed to make something happen. It cast on Truss pushing Steffy and the others to let her know if they were cutting. Expect what's in store. At El Giardino, Liam Spencer tested Will Spencer about the chance of Bill Spencer and Katie Logan rejoining. Will was certainly not a small child who required his folks back together. However, he upheld the thought if Bill would treat Katie right this time and satisfy her. At Bill's home, he got refreshes on Katie's previous experience with Poppy Nozawa, Romy Park, which offered Katie a chance to apologize to her. Bill praised Katie excitedly and conceded she was the one individual who grasped the genuine him. After Bill pushed for a legitimate response on Friday's B&B episode, he inquired as to whether Katie was blissful. Bill recollected when he used to come to Katie and consistently understood what she was feeling. Katie conceded she was to be sure blissful, particularly now that Will was home. Bill implied about the potential outcomes ahead with them getting to know each other since they were as yet a lovely little family. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Katie Bill actually get an opportunity at Adoration, so we'll pass along forecasts on how that could expand on their restored Flash. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates.